I do like myself a solid political attack, and the man that's best at it in Canada is federal Conservative Party leader Pierre Poilievre. He's actually good at knowing when to kind of be silent about Justin Trudeau and then knowing when to throw a punch. Because if he was just swinging at him with haymakers every single day, eventually it would get boring. I know there's a lot of people out there on social media saying, well, if I was a Conservative Party leader, I'd be saying this and that, and Justin Trudeau's this and that, and it's just like swearing all the time, really going after him. That's not as effective as acting dismissive. And that's what Pierre Poilievre is good at. In political marketing, what you want to do is what I would call setting the table. This is what happened in 2011 with the Conservative Party going after Michael Ignatieff. The idea was that he doesn't live here, he's just visiting, and he's going to lose because he's a loser and he's going to go back to the United States. That was a great way of going after Ignatieff because it was true about him and you're predicting the loss that's coming. 2015, Jenny Byrne ran a terrible campaign for the Conservative Party for Stephen Harper. They did that stupid ad in 2015 that Justin Trudeau is just not ready is a horrible ad because it never makes you think that Justin Trudeau would be a bad prime minister. He's just not ready yet, which means he could be ready someday. It's a horrible ad. And what Pierre Poilievre does is way more of the 2011 thing. Justin Trudeau's unpopular, nobody likes him, and he's going to be gone after 2025. You don't fearmonger, you don't do any of that. You just set the table that this man's a loser and he's going to lose. And so here we go with this great interview that True North did a clipping of from TNL TV. Thank you, True North, for clipping this because I do not have a big team with me. In fact, my team is literally just myself. So here's a clip of Pierre Poilievre saying that Justin Trudeau is as popular as a root canal. And then I want to talk about a little bit of what this first woman mentions, because I think it's interesting, this kind of misconception that is around what Conservative Party support looks like.
It is kind of frowned upon for young people to vote Conservative. I think that the Conservative Party is associated with an older, wealthier, whiter crowd. And I would love to know, what are you doing to appeal to those younger Canadians to show them that you do care about what they care about, whether it's climate change or other topics that are important to them?
Before he answers, young people really do not care about climate change. There's some climate fanatics, but they actually tend to be across all generations. Young people care about affordability. There's a activist set of young people, but they're voting NDP, and you're never going to win those people over.
Well, right now, in truth, we're crushing Trudeau with youth. If you look at the polling data, Trudeau is now in third place. He is, he is about as popular as a root canal with voters under the age of 40. And I'm in first place among that group. And the reason why is obvious. I'm the only one who gives you the hope of ever owning a home.
And I think that's a good way of putting it, that it's not like the idea is that somehow if you're more on the left, that means you're more popular with young people because young people are left wing. That's not true at all. In fact, the Conservative Party, it would be wrong to say that the Conservative Party is a white, older, male party. It really isn't. It actually is more of a middle-aged party, middle-class party. The Liberals are, in fact, an older party. They do disproportionately well with older voters, and this is in part because the NDP is around. The NDP is the youth left vote, and then the Liberals are the older generation left vote, because a lot of people are pensioners and they like a party that will add benefits to them, who will maintain benefit raises over time. It's not quite right to assume that you're safer with the Liberals than the Conservatives, because the Conservatives will reduce inflation and make it so that your benefits go further. The Liberals will promise more, but they'll also keep the stability that the pensioners like, whereas a lot of NDP politicians freak out older voters because they want to do so many radical things, and they propose things like wealth taxes and rent controls and whatnot that are obviously a massive risk to your benefits as a pensioner, even if they're promising to give you more. But here's the chart on what parties, and this is from the most recent Abacus poll, of what parties, how parties appeal with different demographics. And so the Liberals in the poll overall were at 23%. And you can see they do 1% better with 18 to 29-year-olds, and then they do 3% better with people who are 60 and over. It also is just true that if you're 60 and over and you were voting Liberal in the 80s and 90s, usually you kind of tend to keep voting that way. So you could say that a lot of people who are 60 plus tend to lock into who they vote for. But things have shifted a lot because the Conservatives are dominating with every single group. The NDP in this poll had gotten 20%, so they do 4% better with the 18 to 29 crowd. And you can see that when you go up to 60 plus, they are doing 4% worse. So that's a big swing for the NDP. The problem for the NDP as well is 18 to 29-year-olds do not really vote very much. It's just a lower turnout demographic of voters. Those in the 60 plus range do actually vote. That's why the Liberals do disproportionately well in elections compared to their polling, is because they are very popular in Eastern Canada and they're popular with voters over the age of 60 who are very likely to show up. But the Conservatives, you can see here, are the opposite of both of them. So the Liberals are an older party and the NDP are younger. And then you'll see with the Conservatives, who I believe overall in this poll, I want to quickly check, the Conservatives were 42% in this poll overall. And they have 42 with 60 and over, so that's average. They do worse with younger voters because there was an idea that, the Conservative Party isn't for the youth, but even then, they're still winning it by 10% over both the NDP and the Liberals at 34. But they do very well with the 30 to 44 crowd and the 45 to 59 crowd, which is a very good group of people to be winning because that is the majority population of voters. This is the issue with the NDP and the Liberals. They've micro-targeted groups of people to vote for them who, even if you started winning majorities of these voters, you'd still be losing the election. Even if somehow the Liberals gained 10 points with 60 plus voters and the NDP gained 5-6 points with 18 to 29s, they still wouldn't be winning because it's not that big a portion of voters. It's an important portion, but you need to be winning middle-aged voters as well if you actually want to carry an election. But now I just quickly want to jump over to some other Liberal propaganda. They're, in a certain sense, their response to Pierre Poilievre. Pierre Poilievre is popular. He's attacking Justin Trudeau's unpopularity. So what's the Liberals' move to trying to make Pierre Poilievre less popular? Well, they do the thing that one lady was kind of intimating there, that Conservatives are a party for rich white folks or whatever, rich white men. And so they attacked Pierre Poilievre in this recent post on X saying, you can't believe a word he says. And it's quoting Pierre Poilievre here saying, our job is always to stand with the common people. And then they have a headline from The Breach. It's saying 10 mansions that common man Pierre Poilievre has fundraised in. Who cares? I don't get this idea that, like, wow, you did a fundraiser with rich people. What am I supposed to do? A fundraiser with the poor? I'm not very rich. Nobody wants to sit in my small studio apartment here and do a fundraiser where we all give like $5. You're going to fundraise with people who can afford to donate. Here's a small little plug. If you live in BC, British Columbia, make sure to donate in the description of this video below. I have a link to Bruce Banman's fundraising page. We're trying to make sure that the BC Conservatives are fully funded in the Fraser Valley. If you donate to Bruce Banman, we will be distributing donations to other ridings that need them as we see it, because we're kind of managing the whole Fraser Valley here. People keep saying I say Fraser Valley wrong. Fraser. I don't get it. But if you want to donate, there is that there. That just reminded me of it. But yeah, you donate among people who actually have money, because the vast majority of people do not donate to politics. It's only like 5% of people, maybe every 5 years, will actually donate anything. It's very, very hard to raise money in Canada. But that was one of the weaker attacks they've made. And then there's this one where they use like this Rick Mercer clip. And this is something that the Liberal Party itself posted. I don't know why. I'm not sure why you'd ever cite Rick Mercer, and they keep pumping this website puresrecord.ca, and it just like lists 20 things that you're apparently supposed to feel scared about that Pierre Poilievre has done. It's like who cares stuff. The biggest negatives are some things he slipped up and said back in 2008 that is not going to affect this next election. But it says Pierre Poilievre qualified for a government pension at 31, then worked with Stephen Harper to raise the retirement age of hardworking Canadians. How is that fair? And it's like, what are you talking about? Like, he doesn't get his pension until he turns at least 52 years old. So it doesn't even matter if he drops out of politics now. He doesn't get the money.
Conservative Member of Parliament Pierre Poilievre, who will now qualify for a full pension the same month he turns 31.
Significant increases in the effective retirement age are required to maintain control of the cost of pensions.
Pierre Poilievre, the workers of Canada salute you.
You know, I'm tired. This makes me tired. I'm sleepy. Who cares? Who cares? He gets a pension? Why are the Liberals proposing to get rid of government pensions? Maybe I'd vote for that, but they have to propose it. They can literally do it right now. The Liberals and the NDP and the Bloc, if they want to, like wave away the criticism that they are only trying to hold on to power as desperately as possible so they can get their pensions, especially Jagmeet Singh, is because they just want to make sure some more of their people qualify for pensions like Jagmeet. You guys can end government pensions right now if you want for elected officials, MPs. Alberta did it. There's no pensions for MLAs in Alberta. You guys could do it right now. They don't actually care that Pierre Poilievre qualifies for a pension. And again, he doesn't get to collect it until he leaves office and he's past the age of 52, which is, I believe, for him another 10 years away. So what's the problem here? But he raised the retirement age from 65 to 67. Okay, do you guys want to talk about Social Security and pension reform? Do you guys want to talk about that? Because that's the real problem there, is that we have a formula that's based on 6 working people paying for 1 retired person, but because of the lack of kids people are having, that means we are moving from 5 people paying for 1 person to 4, and then we might be moving down to 3, which is really the danger zone for our Social Security system and retirement pension system. So are you guys going to reform that, or are you guys just blowing hot air about the fact that you don't like Pierre Poilievre? Oh, wow, I can't believe that he gets a pension, something that he doesn't control. I didn't realize that Pierre Poilievre passed the Pierre Poilievre gets a pension law. And then he also proposed raising the retirement age because it's flat out necessary. I don't know what you're talking, unless we're going to do Social Security reform, it's kind of necessary. And this is nonsense, like you deserve to retire at the age of 65. Some people will retire at 65. Some people deserve it. They've saved enough money. Some people have to work later. We have to move up the retirement age because of how overly generous, in many cases, the benefits have gotten. I'd love to reform the pension system to make it so it's just an investment account that each person puts their money into, and that person gets to live off that investment money in their retirement years. That would be a smarter way of doing this, rather than having a big pot of money that doesn't even get invested, and we just basically turn it into a giant Ponzi scheme where we hope we have enough people putting money in so that some people can take money out. It's not workable. So are the Liberals going to fix this? No, they're just saying stuff. Ugh, it's just frustrating. It's silly. It's all so silly. Now, do I have anything else here to talk about? No, that should be it for me today, guys. You can tell I'm very disorganized. But that should be it for me. If you live in BC, again, click on the link below for the BC donate button for Bruce Banman. You can donate up to $100 and get 75% of it back in a tax credit. So $100 only costs you $25. Up to $550, you get 50% of your money back in tax credit. Make sure to donate, especially if you want the BC NDP out. If you don't live in BC, you can donate to my legal fund if you want to help out the channel. And then also you can go and sign up on my website, wyattclaypool.com, if you guys want local election updates in your area, because I'm going to be trying to make this big list so that if there's ever significant nominations going on in particular ridings or big elections going on in different provinces or cities, I'm able to message everybody, email everybody in that area, and give you information you might want to know about candidates, about different movements that you can get involved with, different parties, all that sort of thing. So like in Ontario right now, if there is a snap election like people are rumoring, I would push you over to maybe, looking into the New Blue Party of Ontario. Doug Ford might be a conservative, but he's a conservative by name only. He's not really conservative. He is really just a bloated big government politician. Maybe he's not a leftist, definitely. He's not leftist, but he is just sort of this, relationship-y politician who spends money on different interest groups and in different industries in order to buy votes, but doesn't actually reform the amount of overspending that is done in Ontario. He's not lowering taxes. He's not shrinking the bureaucracy like he should be. So that's why I would push you over to New Blue. But that's basically how my list will work. If you sign up on wyattclaypool.com, I can then send you news on different people to get involved with, different people to talk to, all that sort of stuff to keep you informed. Anyways, that should be it for me today, guys. Have a good one.